corner to start the lap and didn't get the SM on. And by the time I realized I was down into turn one, I was down 2/10. So, and then I caught some of it back, but then I had that wide moment. And so, just when you're pushing and trying to get everything out, it can be on the knife edge and edgy. So, but the car was feeling good, and the team did a really great job. So I hope that tomorrow, when the weather's better, when it's raining, hopefully we have a good chance.
It's just everything is super confusing. You honestly, I come out of this qualifying, I have no idea actually what was going on, just because of every lap you have other issues. You have more clipping, less clipping, sudden decrease in speed. And then besides that, I think what we did with the car was maybe not fantastic. It helped one area and then made another area worse. So you're just going in circles. So, not great.
Mistake on the first run of Q3, and I couldn't really have a good reference heading into that final lap, and I was kind of overdriving it, and it's really a shame because it's the first time this year we've had such a good car, and I had to kind of throw it all away because I didn't do a good job.
I'm presuming it wasn't any better really in quali.
It was actually, which is even more of a disastrous weekend. Honestly, it's been one, if not the worst weekend of my career. Since FP1, I haven't had one lap where I could feel the car. I just felt like I'm going to put it into the wall in every single corner I do, just because the tires were completely out of the window today. The brakes yesterday that were not in the window as well. So there was never at any time something that was just clicking and everything was right. But surely Lewis managed to do that throughout qualifying, and I didn't. So I'll analyze on what can I do to be better in this kind of conditions, to just switch those tires on, because it's been really a nightmare so far.
Yeah, the weekend's gone well so far. Obviously after sprint, I tried to really make a point to not get complacent, because things can change very easily as we've seen before on these sprint weekends. But again, we seem to have good pace. The team did a really good job. They've given me a car that I've been comfortable with all weekend. It's been fun to drive. Happy to have another Q3. Part of me was a little bit disappointed because after Q1 and Q2 I was hearing quite often P5, P6, P7. To end up P9 was a bit sad, but at the same time it was always going to happen when the top teams put everything together. So I think it was the best that was possible, and happy with my job today and the team as well.
Today it's been a perfect day. It's been a very good both sessions, a race and the quali now. Race very strong, very good pace, close to the points, and now again going flat out from the start to the end and setting very good laps. I had confidence in the car, and I'm very pleased with the result. I think we all did a very big effort to put the car here where it is today, and everyone pushed so hard in the factory to be at these positions and be close to scoring points. So I am very proud of everyone. I'm proud of myself. I did a good job today, and I'm very happy with how we turned around the year. Now we started struggling the first 3 rounds, and now it's been a good couple of sessions in a row that we've been strong, and that we've been in front, and that we've been in the points position. So very happy and very grateful with the team for the support.
No, we missed it obviously by 300s. To be honest, that was what we had in clean laps. Squeezed it as hard as I could. Obviously, always on the edge here, fight. Your grip is kind of low here, so you're always fighting the balance, fighting the car. But pretty happy with what we've done just now. But obviously, slightly disappointing maybe that it's not into Q3. But I think we need to see bigger picture. It's been a pretty difficult, troubled weekend. Many issues on the power unit, on the drivability side. So all things considered, is actually pretty decent.
Yeah, a little bit disappointed. I think the car's obviously very quick this weekend, so it's a shame not to put both cars in Q3 where they honestly should be. But I think they were the first laps this weekend I'd done in sort of mode 1 and qualifying and on a soft tyre. So just trying to sort of catch back up a little bit. And honestly, it was more difficult than I expected. It was quite tricky to drive. I struggled with warm-up and some front locking as well, and in the end I just put a lot of pressure on myself to try and put it into the last lap. We nearly did it, but not enough.
Struggled a bit more today in quali than yesterday, I would say. Yesterday I just felt a bit more comfortable, and today not really. It was really struggling with a few points, but that's going to be discussed internally. But I think we're just not the cleanest qualifying. I think actually very, very tough. But anyway, it's not that we could have done much more than this. I think Nico did probably a very good lap, and that's where we are standing as a pace. So hopefully tomorrow we can do a good race.
Extremely slow on my side, so I'm not too sure. We know we clearly have work to do, but at the moment it's just been 2 weekends, exactly the same thing.
Have you got any idea why
No.
it's the case, and what is the car feeling like? Does it feel okay when you're driving it? Or
No,
does
I
it
mean,
feel...
I need the team to help me. I can feel that it's something is not working, but I need the team to help me.
Today I think we under-delivered a bit. I think we should have been on the top 12 with a good lap. I think we were the whole session fighting for the top 11, top 12 positions. I think the car today could do a 13.9, 14.0, which is top 12. Unfortunately, in Q2, run 2, for whatever reason, we need to analyze why I didn't feel good with the front tire, and we lost 2 or 3 tenths in sector 1 versus my best lap. And we need to analyze why, see where that went to, and then see why we didn't qualify top 12. But anyway, top 12 this week, until this weekend we were top 10, so punching above our weight. Today maybe punching a bit below it.
Yeah, again, very tough, and it's been a weekend of uncovering new limitations every time we get in the car. So, this time I think we finally found ourselves with a better through corner balance, and now we're finding out that with a bit of confidence you can finally push the entries, and now I'm locking fronts in every single time I try. So it's because we've been so poor for the rest of the weekend that we have not uncovered any of these issues before. Everyone else found that out in FP1, and we found that out now, so it's not good enough.
It was the ultimate chance, that last lap, really. We completely changed the car just before qualifying, so it was not easy to get a proper feel really with that last qualifying. You only have 3 or 4 laps to get used to everything, so that was my position, trying to figure out where the grip was better, what the grip was worse with the updated car, and it was just very difficult to put everything together.
Okay, just didn't really put it together. So whether that's me, deployment, or whatever, just didn't come together. So frustrating.
From a confidence level, is it just you not quite feeling one with the car?
A bit of that. Not really understanding when the car's going to do something, for sure, and then just. I don't know why we went out so early compared to everyone else, so we kind of didn't really make use of the track evolution, but yeah.
The final result that doesn't change much for us out of Q1, but I don't know, I have the feeling that this weekend we've been a little bit more competitive. I felt fast on the car, and I felt like a bit more lean with the package, trying to maximize everything. Arguably we are more competitive, also a couple of tenths to Q2, which is the very first time we were, I think, 1.2 seconds average deficit to go into Q2, and here we were a little bit closer, but there's still a long way to go.
I think once everyone puts their pace together, I think it shows a clearer picture of where we are. I think yesterday with just one set, things looked a little bit more competitive. I don't think we maximized quite the session. We had a bit of a problem. The car was right hand down quite a lot with the setup change that we made. So it was a little bit tricky to get the lap in.
Yeah, really tricky. No confidence in the car, just no grip. So it was a difficult session.
How many changes did you make? Was it quite extensive between the sprint and quali, just to try something different?
No, not much changes. Few little things. There was not so much to change, but just no grip in the car.
Yeah, not the ideal qualifying. I was hoping a lot more, but I messed it up myself. I had to lock up into turn 1, so my mistake, and that was the first lap of the second run, so that kind of ruined that run. So it's kind of impossible to say how much there was to gain, but for sure quite a bit.
Daytona, Ellis, the Windward racing, the Mercedes of that class from Matteo Cressoni. Of course, Ferrari.
A very warm welcome to the top three finishers of the F1 sprint here in Montreal. In third place, Kimi Antonelli. In second place, Lando Norris, taking his third sprint victory. Our winner, George Russell. Very well done, George. A great result for you. Quite a lot to unpick from that one. Can we start with the battle with your team? Talk us through lap 6 from your point of view.
Yeah, it was just a good hard battle, and obviously I defended into turn 1, and you never get overtaken around the outside of that corner, and so I knew it was kind of pretty safe, but kudos to Kimi for giving it a go, and respect that, and obviously came out unscathed and went into turn 8. This track is very dirty as well, offline. We've seen it all weekend, so I was quite nervous to defend too tight into turn 8 because I knew that there was a chance of locking up if I went there, and that was about it really. So glad that we're sat here now. It could have been something different, but it wasn't, and that's how racing should be.
Kimi said on the radio that you were defending your team. What's your reply to that?
I need to see it. I've not seen it. I don't know if it was under investigation or not. I don't think it was. So yeah, from my side, as kids in karting, we know overtaking on the outside. There's a certain element of risk that comes with that, and they're amazing overtakes when they come off, but the chances are quite slim. So, there's only one direction I was going, and I was going to, close the line and give us my right to do so. So, as I said, respect to him for giving it a go. Emotions are always high for all of us in the cockpit, but I'm sure we'll both talk about it after.
Okay, thanks for that. Lando, we'll come to you in a minute if you don't mind. Kimi, can I bring you in on this? Just hard racing? You agree with George?
Yeah, I need to check it as well, to be fair. I was quite well alongside, and there was definitely contact, so I need to recheck that. But yeah, was hard racing in turn 8. To be fair, it was definitely too optimistic. I also took a massive bump and I almost spun in a straight line, so also definitely used the lockup. But yeah, just need to recheck it, and then yeah, we'll talk about it later.
You don't overtake around the outside of turn 1, according to George. Would you agree with him?
I think if you're well alongside, you can overtake pretty much anywhere. I mean, obviously there are corners that is more difficult, but I don't think there's never been an overtake running outside in turn 1, but I agree that Ossie was defending his position, so yeah, just was hard racing. Of course, we were both lucky not to crash, but yeah, was at the end of the day, it was a very fun race.
Okay, Kimi, thank you. And Lando, just coming to you, you got the popcorn out. You're in a good seat.
Yeah, I now know kind of how I felt for some of the others last year. So it's obviously a nice position to be in. I think that for us, even though the pace was actually pretty good, and I mean the guys, they both pulled away a good amount, to be honest, in the beginning, and I just couldn't go with them. So I think we're clearly lacking a little bit of speed comparing to them, but the pace was still decent, especially then when I was a bit more behind George for the rest of the race. But yeah. Yeah, it was I just wanted to get to the checkered flag, honestly. So it was obviously helped out by the fact that they were racing each other hard, and was good to watch, honestly. Just because sometimes it is good to watch the racing part of it. So that was a good watch, and of course we capitalised on it, and that's
useless, but sure.
Thank you for that. Thanks to all three of you. Let's now open this to the floor.
What did you say?
It is good. Especially, yeah.
At the end of the day, still was a very fun race.
Okay, Kimi, thank you. And Lando, just coming to you, you got the popcorn out. You're in a good seat.
Yeah, I now know kind of how it felt for some of the others last year. So it's obviously a nice position to be in. I think that for us, even though the pace was actually pretty good, and I mean the guys, they both pulled away a good amount, to be honest, in the beginning, and I just couldn't go with them. So I think we're clearly lacking a little bit of speed comparing to them, but the pace was still decent, especially then when I was a bit more behind George for the rest of the race. But yeah,
Yeah, it was I just wanted to get to the checkered flag, honestly. So was obviously helped out by the fact that they were racing each other hard, and was good to watch, honestly. Just because sometimes it is good to watch the racing part of it. So it was a good watch, and of course we capitalised on it, and that's what we're there to do.
All right, thank you for that. Thanks to all three of you. Let's now open this to the floor, please. First one, name and publication.
John Noble from The Race. To Kimi, on the radio afterwards, you said, if we need to race like this, good to know. Has today changed perceptions on how you go racing with George? And George, are you surprised? Do you see anything unusual in how you battled today?
We do meetings before races, and that's what we say in the rooms. And of course, we race to win, and we try to do our best to defend our position. So, of course, probably I understood the significance of that meeting a bit differently. Yeah, just obviously I need to recheck. I was very, emotions were very high in the moment, and obviously I was very annoyed, but I just need to recheck, and for sure we're going to talk about it, and we're going to clarify on that.
Yeah, I mean, the truth is I need to check it as well. From my side, I didn't think I did anything wrong, and it wasn't investigated, so I guess for race directors and stewards thought the same, but I need to check it, and it is clear that between teammates we race hard and fair and no contact, and that's always the objective. I wasn't racing Kim any harder than I would have raced Lando in the same position. We're both here fighting to win, and always in the past, even last year when we battled, I always gave Kimi a bit more room compared to anyone else. So as I said, I need to review it. There was nothing untoward with the drive, and as I said, I don't think it was even investigated. So I think that says enough.
Okay, thanks both. Next one.
I think that's happening at the World Endurance Championship.
Phil Clearman.com to George, please. Just in general, obviously Kimi won the 3 races in a row. This is a circuit that you've always gone really well at. So in the bigger picture, did you feel that despite it being very early in the season, that this is an important weekend just to reassert yourself?
I think it was more important for you guys and for the overall perception. For me, it was never in doubt. The fact that there was a big break after Japan and then another 2-week break after Miami, and Miami's always been a tough race for me. I know my weaknesses, and they've been pretty consistent over the course of my whole F1 career. It's just,
everything is trash right now.
Because I've never been fighting at the front. Now is a big talking point. I didn't have any doubts that I could come here and just be back fighting at the front as I was in the first 3 races of the season. Miami was a bit tough track for me.
I can make it to the end. As long as I make it to the end, it's
put a huge amount of focus on, but it wasn't a big surprise to me seeing Kimi's exceptional performance in Miami, the same as last year, and for me to be back sort of in the fight again this weekend.
Thank you, George.
We didn't get the rain in Miami, but it looks like there's a good chance we'll get it tomorrow. What are your thoughts about a wet race here, given most people have had no running or just a little bit of testing?
All three, Adam.
I mean, from the drivers who have spoken, who have driven in the wet, they sound pretty concerned about it, not because of the power, the downforce of the cars, because they don't feel the tyres are good enough. The 3 of us here haven't experienced the wet this year. Kimi and I both drove this wet tyre last year, and
you've got to be kidding.
It wasn't a very good feeling, to be honest, and ended up a few times through the gravel and damage to the car. So time will tell. I really hope that's not the case. It should be the case. We want to fight hard and fair, but the wet tyres haven't been great at the best of times. So unfortunately, this sounds like it's going to be a step
Lando, your thoughts?
I mean, looking forward to it as an opportunity, not looking forward to it because the comments from the others, like George said, are not great. So we just when you have 1,000 horsepower and
Yeah, you have a street circuit, then you need good tyres to go with it, and from what we've heard, that's not exactly what we have going into tomorrow. So we'll see. I've never driven in the rain with these tyres yet, so it'll be a new situation for me, and I think it's made it tougher, the fact that it is a street circuit and you've not got a lot of margin for error, and it's a low grip track. So yeah, excited. Could be a lot of chaos, but honestly, at the same time, we signed up to do the chaos. You know, we have the list and everything, and yeah, I know Freddie are working on better at the time being, but let's wait and see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, Hector said we tried the tire last year and it was not the nicest. There were a few also complaining moments. So it's just, yeah, it's tricky. And of course, it's already a track where it's hard to put temperature already on the dry, on tires. So I think, you know, tomorrow's going to be cold and wet, and it's going to be hard to build temperature, which is the main thing for us, because once you get the temperature, it's actually not too bad, but it's those first few laps where you're just sliding around and the tire is not really working. So, yeah, it's not easy. It's going to be tricky, but let's see first what's the weather going to be like, because also in Miami it was meant to rain and it didn't. So let's see tomorrow.
Another one, please. Yeah.
You've gone through the night.
Oh wow, never noticed this. Big rock.
A very rare sunset.
Carl Mulder, GP blog. Question to Lando. Lando, last year you and Oscar were battling each other quite hard at times. And then Max almost managed to take it away from you, almost at the end. Do you see a similar scenario developing at Mercedes? Now you maybe being the one able to take it away from them?
I mean, we're still just very early on in the season. At the minute, I'm just trying to maximise every result that we can. Today was certainly one of those days where, in a way, we didn't deserve to be P2, but we were. Well, we deserved to be P2. We shouldn't have been P2 when we were. So we'll see. I think but it's just what you get. I think when you have two good drivers fighting for a championship with a good team, you know, that's kind of what you expect. You know, each individual has to fight for their own career. You don't kind of just go out to prove your point every time, but you know, because we signed up for it as an individual, you grow up alone, wanting to be the best in the world, and every driver wants to do it. So they both have their own point to prove. They both want to go out and race, and at the minute they're fighting more than anyone for the World Championship. So yeah, that's what they need to do. So we'll be there. I think we're still lacking a bit at the minute, probably similar to last year from Max's position. So we'll see how much we can hang on for the time being. But yeah, obviously a day like today, we maximise everything we could.
Thank you. We'll do one more.
Ronald from motorsport.com. It's not one for TV. You just mentioned the pre-race meetings and that, in your opinion, it was maybe different from what we've seen on track. If the evaluation of this sprint race shows that this is within the boundaries, will you then change your approach going forward in terms of the safety margin you leave when leaving your fight with your teammate?
For sure, I think. You know, probably we just need a bit of clarity, and then once he's clear, then it's going to be fine. I think definitely I need to probably ask again, but the main thing for the team is that there's no contact, that we don't crash into each other, which today at the end was very close, but yeah, I think that's the most important for the team. And also as a driver, you don't want to crash into your own teammate. We all want the best for, first of all, each other, but also for the team. So for sure we will clarify and everything going to be fine.
Okay, thank you guys. Well done. Good luck.
What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. We're in Montreal, Canada, and straight away this weekend had drama written all over it before a single lap was even completed. The Thursday press conference at the circuit, Gil brought together some of the biggest names on the grid, and the storylines come up to it. So today we have also
1 minute, that's 37, Ronnie. Second place. Underneath that marker, we don't race it. That's the edge, Joe. That's holding people going back. Won't worry.
On the days leading up to February 27, 2026, gamers were surprised to find out that Pokemon Fire Red Leaf 3 were officially getting a virtual console release on the Nintendo Switch 1 and 2. And if you know anything about speedrunning, releasing an old game on a new console opens up the floodgates for brand new competition, fines, and old world records to be shattered. But only if the one releasing it does it correctly. Obviously though, I wouldn't be making this video right now if it had been done right for our little community. And it all has to do with a small device that has almost no relevance on the Switch version, but came packaged with the original release of Fire Red Leaf 3 on the Game Boy Advance. Really quickly, it's time to talk about cards from today's sponsor, Arena Club. If you've never heard of Arena Club, they have a super unique way of doing digital and physical cards at the same time, specializing in sports, the magical TCG, and Pokemon cards. But I personally hate the interaction you have to deal with when buying Pokemon cards, and the fact that it's not always guaranteed, which is a big part of what I think makes Arena Club unique. So the way it works is they put together their own packs, show you what you can get from their site. Anything you get digitally, you can receive physically exactly the times like with the you and sell it back. The device I'm talking about right here is what's known as the wireless adapter. And while it doesn't actually work with or connect to the Switch version of Fire Red Leaf Green in any way, shape, or form, the remnants of its coding is still present. And it almost completely ruins speedruns to the point where people are ignoring the Switch version entirely, despite there being minutes of time saved to be had playing them on a more powerful console. So obviously, or maybe not, because this was way more relevant 20 years ago, the original purpose of the wireless adapter was to allow a person to locally trade, battle, and connect to a play. Despite other things not being allowed in a speedrun, the device does actually have a purpose when speedrunning any Generation 3 Pokemon game. You see, when this little accessory is plugged in, and even when it isn't, it still does a little check to see if it is. Specifically, when you enter a Pokemon Center, soft reset or hard reset the game, or if you close any menus while inside of a Pokemon Center, the game will just sit there for half a second each time you try one of these actions if you don't have the adapter plugged in. And while this only saves 2 or 3 seconds in an any % speedrun or 8.5 to 10.5 seconds in a round 2 speedrun, it does make a pretty decent difference whether or not you have it plugged in. However, speedrunners specifically won't plug this device in until after they successfully RNG manipulated a Squirtle with really good stats. Because for some reason or another, it kind of ruins how we go about obtaining those Squirtles. So for those unaware of what RNG manipulation is, it's essentially taking advantage of known patterns within a game to try and manipulate RNG patterns in your favor. And because Pokemon's RNG isn't actually fully random, you can do that pretty easily as long as you know the starting point and ending point for that RNG that you want to produce results for. For the preferred method speedrunners use, the RNG process starts the moment you hit OK on naming yourself and ends after hitting A on this Pokemon seems energetic text box, while the other method starts the moment after you finish holding down a button to transition past the game's title screen, then ends on that same text box I talked about before. And the precision to get past both these methods successfully is frame perfect or a 1/60th of a second precision window. That is, if you're playing without the wireless adapter. But what happens to the game when you leave the adapter in and try either of these manipulations is weird. So with the adapter in, the process for getting a manipulated Squirtle doesn't change where the RNG begins and ends. What it does change is how we tackle these manipulations, because the game enters what is known as 2x2 mode. And what this mode does is essentially double the amount of frames that RNG advances by in the overworld by 2 frames instead of just 1 after you've hit continue to actually play the game. Now, normally, the way we do this manipulation on the GBA version is we start up a little countdown timer in the background after hitting OK on naming ourselves, get our trainer ID, enter it into the program that shows what Squirtles we can land on, and attempt to land on the in-game frame the Squirtle exists on with a precise A press. And by doing this, you should either get it perfectly or be pretty close with enough practice. In 2x2 mode, however, the frames we aim for are basically double, the exact range expanded. And the way we calculate the Squirtle we go for needs division to hit the correct one. Because with the frames scrolling by at a speed of 2 frames at a time at a native 60 frames per second, we'll need to find the frame we're aiming for, divided by 2, then plug that divided number in and adjust it until we get close enough. But to top off all these complications with 2x2 mode manipulations, what if I told you that even if you did all this with the perfect precision, that the Squirtle you're aiming for might actually be impossible to obtain from the moment you start the game. Why exactly? Well, the game's scrolling through those frames 2 frames at a time instead of each frame 1 by 1. This means you can only either aim for even or odd frames, since 2x2 mode skips every other frame. And unfortunately for us, there are 0 indicators or currently known ways to know if we should be aiming for even or odd frames when starting up a manipulation. And without the use of glitches, there's no possible way to actually get this mode to turn off. Currently, it takes a bit less than 2 minutes to reach the table and try this with the speedrun methods, but it adds up quite a bit mentally when you keep doing this for hours just for nothing to show up after all that hard work. So I will say though that you could technically make this a bit easier by saving and quitting for a Squirtle, which ends up actually mitigating some of the 2x2 mode, since sitting on the continue screen stops 2x2 mode until you enter the overworld. But this type of manipulation is unfortunately considered to be a bit slower, and you have to wait until the entire title screen is done playing to consistently get results. But with all this said, I imagine some of you might be thinking, why not just grab any old Squirtle and run with it? Surely it's better than dealing with this headache. Well, the thing is, that is exactly what every glitchless run of Fire Red Leaf Green on the Switch leaderboards has been doing for the past months since its initial release. With its current time on the Switch leaderboards being 8 minutes slower than the older, laggier version of Fire Red Leaf Green, I think it's kind of depressing in a way. And nothing against anyone who's done a run of Fire Red Leaf Green on the Switch and submitted it, but with the potential time save the Switch 1 and 2 provides, we should be seeing times much closer or better than the Game Boy Advance times. But thanks to a simple little device that shouldn't be relevant at all, the reality is that nobody really cares to speedrun Fire Red Leaf Green on the fastest console it's ever been released on, with the best known methods to speedrun with Squirtles that look like this. That, however, is not the full end to the rough speedrun scene on the Switch, as there's one more category I have to talk about, which is the 20% glitch category, the likes of which is actually impossible to do with the fastest known methods to beating Fire Red Leaf Green with glitches. So I actually covered this very thoroughly in another video, which you can watch after this one if you want to know more about it in further detail. But the TLDR is that a very complicated glitch known as save disruption lets you beat Fire Red Leaf Green in about 20 minutes by just saving, catching, and depositing Pokemon under very specific circumstances using box names to work to the Hall of Fame. But saving in the Switch version works very differently compared to the GBA version, making it impossible to achieve save corruption because you simply can't corrupt saves without the game throwing away your save on the Switch version. It's weird, but at the very least, you can do the old non-save corruption glitches that use Farfetch and Mr. Mime to warp to the Hall of Fame using mail, which I think is definitely a plus in all of this, but it's just kind of sad at how much potential is being lost to a lot of simple things that truly only affect our side of Pokemon. However, I don't want to end on a sad note, because one day, someone will be coming along and proving all the naysayers wrong, shattering at least the glitchless world records in ways we've never seen before, especially the potential of Switch runs in the super popular category known as Round 2, the goal of which is to obtain 60 Pokemon to unlock the National Dex, then beat the post-game in order to take on and defeat the harder post-game version of the Elite Four. And that potential is realized exclusively on the Switch version of Fire Red Leaf Green, where the moment you beat the game, you'll unlock the Mystic Ticket, which lets you go to a place called Naked Rock, where you can either catch a Ho-Oh or Lugia of your choice. Now, normally in Round 2 speedruns, the fastest way to beat the post-game Elite Four is to take a 3-minute detour to obtain Mewtwo in Cerulean Cave. And while it is more powerful in a lot of ways compared to these two birds, the big difference is you can actually use the birds for very difficult post-game fights in the Sevi Islands that cannot be taken on by Mewtwo, because Cerulean Cave doesn't open up until after you've beaten those post-game events. But just as a small caveat to add to this, I need to admit that I haven't fully explored whether or not the birds are actually faster than Mewtwo overall, but I can say that not only is getting in and out of Naval Rock faster and safer than Cerulean Cave, but Ho-Oh and Lugia just absolutely obliterate the post-game fight so fast that I think the Switch 1 and 2 runners should at least look into trying a route using them to see if they are. But for now, whether or not anyone will become a Fire Red Leaf Green Virtual Console legend capable of beating the GBA world record in either category has yet to be seen. And only time will tell if anyone decides to painstakingly overcome the odds of getting a Nintendo Switch portal in the world of Pokemon.
First and second place. I thought hitting occasions. But then you look at the 25 BMW, that was only a 21 stop. And before that, it was 16. BMW still has the race lead, so that logic can't necessarily be followed. BMW, it's that GTLM battle really for four cars, which is driving this one for the last hour.
Denny, tell me another story. Not tonight, buddy. We have a race tomorrow. Just the one about how 37 million drivers trust Progressive. I'll tell you tomorrow during the race. Get some sleep. If your car could talk, it would tell you to get Progressive.
Maybe you're a civilian.
I am.
Absolutely right. Works for me.
Yeah, completely. Same every year, isn't it? It's a smallish race, but always I tend to find the most competitive job. Really, it's an incredible battle act, and you can just tell, especially when the street goes in car and the way that the drivers are driving, they're driving very, very quickly. They're driving very smoothly, and there's no. If that was if once we get into the last hour, let's say, especially into the last pit stop, the BMW peels off. Now, out of the lead of GTLM, or is going to be on the pit road. This is a battle that's going to go right to the very end, and into the pits also is number 4, Tommy Milner, in the Corvette. Farfus in, Farfus been in and gone out. So that means that the number 3 Corvette will inherit the lead of GTLM, and James Corrado and Lewis Ferrari gone through and will take up that second place. Of course, this will all pan out when we get through the last years. We'll see these cars back out. It'll be Corvette that gets up in here from first and will overtake the BMW. BMW a little bit slower in that pit stop. Probably know that.
Yes, I mean, probably. Yeah.
Changes there on either of them. Philippi in the BMW number 25, like in action number 4 for West, and it's done that. But if that's soon, standing still effectively. Then moved off first. It was fuel and tyres on the number 4, no driver change. Only a flat dance around the car. That has got that number 4 Corvette. It's the silver livery car. There's a car effectively inherit the lead. You see the 2 cars with GTLM. Take that pit stop. Once again, he wins that. This is both drivers, both have the team. Let's bring the ball back now in. Ferrari in. The mission that got number 4 It's on fuel tire that's done, which being scooped from the front grill. Getting the air to that minute. It's the head of the Ferrari of the racing. They are indeed a very solid team. GTLM cleared pretty sure that Fine. Finished. Yeah. This is a great start.
In my comic, my tactics are ridiculous. But I play enough my powers currently. I mean, maybe they like, let's say every driver must require a race win in specific categories. Given the options categories to drive in. I mean, technically that's what they do, right? For F3, F2. This way. Rather than certain.
Sergio Garcia and Tommy Milner have just rejoined the racetrack.
No.
I think it's quite possibly
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe
to get back in front of the Corvette. They're going into the stocks. And then
right now, you can see which race race. Yeah. If anything, hopefully it should be an example of what you shouldn't. Just kidding. Easy for me to say all this stuff. I should prefer not even talk in the first place. Instead, please understand.
All that coming together. The 97 TS Sport. And again, realistic. All the force looked like it was, it didn't turn into
Who are you?
Yeah, it was about a straight line. It looks like
Exactly.
damage on the 97.
To be fair, in the arm cases, we've seen since
what I could see.
why are
Getting back this speaker over.
shit?
Outstanding. That sort of carried out on the machine. Unbelievable, this battling. That's pure air effect. It was almost as if the brake car didn't have a final gear to form there, but I can assure you, it's near enough identical to that 4. The benefit that the number 4 car had was that
GT Le Mans, LMP2, LMP3, GT Daytona. Okay. And DPI. What the fuck is a DPI?
Try and let it patch up, not the BMW at the same time.
Okay.
For the silver.
Ooh.
From another angle, this time cars go into the box stop from behind those cars. It was just a missed braking point, I think, for the 64. I'll tell you who's driving that. Just no opportunity to turn in. Realising, I think, that there was a car to be battling with. The opportunity to turn in was sadly missed. But Ted Giovanni, the man we were hearing from right here on RS2 Into Radio earlier on in the broadcast. So Ted sadly had to come into pit road with, I guess, a damaged Porsche, and likewise, at least the 97 was tracking something, probably a part of its splitter on the ground. So that's going to be looked at by PS4. That's back in the session today, back in the race. So I reckon PS4 have turned that car around pretty quickly. There's a lot happening at that point, Johnny, into the braking area. It was very, very hard to be turning, and it was a left right before the right left. Way back into the pretty far out. He tried to screw up as little speed as possible, and we saw there. Not too well enough. Yeah, character there. Without too much of a delay. Back the GTLM door. It's going to be all you think like. You think Fred saw that with the elder 50 goals? Tell me another story. That's right, buddy. We don't race tomorrow.
Just the one about how 37 million drivers trust Progressive.
I'll tell you tomorrow. Get them sleep. Oh. Year in, year out.
Fuck it.
With a French.
Keep this. Stacking. Nah, I'll do it.
BMW, the well-known American they have then the Ferrari in Italy, represented by American sports. The Porsche is there as well, and taken up with a factory car with an ex-factory Porsche in the hand. It's a racing car. Used to be this racing feeling all the way to the flag. We're moments away from the 16th hour being completed. Due to the radio part of the radio show that's get in touch. The road rally. For a racing in the race, which sees Edgar van der Zande in the Cadillac DPI lead on 535 laps by 4.7 seconds over Elliot Castroneves in the best of a couple of Acuras. The first from Monica Minolta Acura, number 10 running in second. 3 seconds of drift is the Meyershank Racing example with Curtis Lamborghini. Then, just a couple of things.
Pretty much all I have for today, but if you want to know when someone finally does that, subscribe here and I'll tell you all about it in a future video. There's a link, by the way, to my lovely supporters on Patreon.
Cadillac Racing represented by the 48 car of leaders. Oliver Jarvis is the master motorsport. Up next, Gabby Oakley in the 8 Tower Motorsport lorry. They're boarding Shatter for Era Motorsport, same type of chassis car, 18. Again, another Oregon. There's been Di Francesco, Dragon Speedbrook, third ahead of the RWR Rajan, number 51 car, being driven by Tony Blair.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, Jimmy Boo!
Is it so
BMW and Davide Enrico is a massive 6 seconds I've just so far the slot before this that you don't repeat it.
Thank you guys very much for coming out. What's up, y'all beautiful people? This is great, man.
Daytona, it's now
You guys can have a seat. Thank you. Thank you
in the
so
AF
much.
Corsa Ferrari of Simon Matt anymore. Anyhow, all despite that. He's still very.
We're out here representing, man. I gotta say, it's been a couple of good years for us Asians. Right? Yeah. We had Crazy Rich Asians last year. That was a huge moment for us. Yeah.
That is the latest matter
Jeremy
in the
Lin
race
won a
update.
championship.
There are now just under 8,000
For doing nothing. He's the first Asian kid to receive a participation trophy. We gotta be proud of him. Finally.
Speedway Turn 1.
It's great. Great couple of years, man. But there's recent history. I don't know if you guys remember this. Just 3 years ago, there was a movie called The Great Wall, starring Matt Damon. It was a real movie. It was Matt Damon and ancient China fighting dragons and shit, and everybody spoke English.
Placement. What the fuck is this?
You gotta understand, I'm not mad at Matt Damon, okay? He's an actor. That's what he does. That's how he gets his
They will be
shit.
grateful not to be involved in that.
I get it. If somebody
Almost
would
as
have
similar
offered me
as
a
the
lead
crash
role
that
in
Ben
a
had
movie
with
called
the
Mount Rushmore,
daughter of Hedgie of Martin. In this case,
I'll play the shit out of George Washington, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, and it's like, really is like threading a needle into that.
No shame in my game.
On the back with very, very high speed. Over in GTD line now.
That's a black guy, by the way.
Kenny Apple now up to the percent high. Third in GTD. Kenny Apple in the number 75 from anything.
There's a lot of debate amongst their friends. They're like, hey man, are you sure that's him? If we go up there, we gotta be sure. Because if we go up there and it's not him, we're gonna be super racist.
I was thinking back in the top. One of the things that to ensure that they meet regulation.
And it come up to me as always like the first thing they say, like, hey man, aren't you that dude Jake from that show Silicon Valley? Yeah, thank you, I appreciate it. Yeah. And then they're like, oh shit, I didn't even know you speak English in real life. Like, it's called acting, motherfucker. Like, did you really think Matt Damon was Chinese? Like, what's wrong with you? I don't know what the disconnect is. Like, if a white actor does a British accent, he's a thespian. He wins an Oscar. If I do a Chinese accent, I'm automatically from the old country. Representation matters, man. A lot of Asian people coming up to me, very proud, very nice. They're like, Jimmy, thank you for representing the Asians, man. I'm like, hey, you're welcome. But you do understand it's not really a choice. Like when you wake up Asian, you can only represent Asians.
But it can be any food.
You just wake up one day like, I can represent Asians today. I'm very proud to represent Asians, but at the same time, it's so much pressure. Like, nobody ever heard Matt Damon be like, hey, Matt, thanks for representing the whites. It sounds weird. That's like a different conversation for some reason, you know? If someone came up to me and be like, hey, Jimmy, I'll represent for the whites, I would leave that town immediately and never come back. So much pressure to represent. I gotta be a good Asian everywhere now. I got a tip everywhere I go. That was one of the major advantages of being Asian, because I can just pretend I don't know how to tip. Y'all know what a Chinese tip is? Chinese tip, it doesn't matter how big your bill is, you tip $2. That's a Chinese tip. That's Chinese tip, man. I gotta tip 20% everywhere. I gotta get every Uber driver a 5-star rating just like I'm a good representative. Everywhere I go, I gotta represent. Even day-to-day shit. Even the bedroom, I gotta represent. After I hooked up with this one girl, this is what she said to me. She's like, Jimmy, I don't know how to tell you this, but you're the first Asian guy I've ever been with. I'm like, okay. What do you want, a fortune cookie? Like what do you want? She acts like she's unlocking a new character on Street Fighter or some shit. Why do you feel the need to say that? This one girl said this shit that was so disrespectful. This is what she said to me after we hooked up. She was like, Jimmy, just like the stereotypes that are true. You don't have a small penis. And I'm like, bitch, you understand? You just insulted my entire race of people. But thank you. First of all, thank you for thinking that I did have a small penis, and we still had sex. You're the real MVP. But that's a fucked up stereotype, right? That's not even true. That's a fucked up stereotype. Everybody should have average dick until proven guilty. I don't care how tall you are, what ethnicity you are, how big your hands are. Everybody should start at average dick, 8 inches. And we go from there. There's so much pressure, man. Now I feel like every time I have sex, there's a billion Chinese people on my back just judging me. I gotta make sure I perform 100%, you know? I gotta give him an extra pump for my uncle in Shanghai, an extra pump for my nephew in Hong Kong and shit. It's like, oh my God. That's why you see old Asian people walking like this, just so much pressure. I love Lloyd. Yeah. But why are all old Asians always stretching in the park? Like, it doesn't matter which city, which park you go to. You wake up 6:30 in the morning. You see about 250 old Asian people all doing this shit at the same time.
He just lost the back end doing it. And
Small beans.
like 3 wheels on the ground.
You saw that, yeah, sure.
And my dad was trying to explain to me, he's like, oh, you're warming up to do Tai Chi. I'm like, for how long? And ironically, Tai Chi is a warm-up in itself. So they're warming up to warm up for nothing. And I talk to a lot of Americans, like people think that Tai Chi is like an exotic Chinese secret Oriental art. No, Tai Chi is just exercise for people who are old to exercise. Let's not exoticize these things, you know? It's actually super simple to do Tai Chi. I went to the park, watched those old people for like an hour. Very simple. All you gotta do is all you gotta do to do Tai Chi is pretend you're wiping down a window and get a blowjob at the same time. You guys seem skeptical. Allow me to demonstrate. Very simple. All you gotta do, you get in your little stands, right? Okay? And then you wipe down a window. And now you get a blowjob.
Finally got enough power to
lift your head up because you're a gentleman, you know?
Straight to the skin, you can't not make anywhere near contact with the
That's Tai Chi.
of the barrier, thankfully. It's well to park in the car and keep it out of the scenery.
Let's not exoticize these Asian things. They're just old people reminiscing about the days when they got sucked off. That's it. You gotta take advantages of these
First phase
like
pit stop for the prototype cars.
That's fine.
Being recorded over an hour.
I just make up a fake
This will be a regular worship period with
move next Monday.
factory cars allowed to come into pit road. They got some much needed fuel, quite possibly a driver change as well. It's tyres.
My grandfather died for
It
that
will
shit, you
provide,
understand?
is again, those detailed DVI.
And if people's gonna assume that I don't speak English, that's fine. That's what I do now when I get pulled up by the cops. I just pretend I don't speak English. Haven't gotten a ticket in 5 years. Last time I got pulled over, the cops knocked me over. Sir, you do understand you can't make a right turn here. It says right there in the sign you can't make a right turn. So I just looked up at him and I was like, I'm sorry, but English is not my fault, so I cannot read the sign. And he was really confused. He just looked back down and he was like, sir, the sign is not in English. It's a diagram, so I don't understand how that's a language barrier. So I just looked up at him. I was like, oh. I don't know. But do you know today is the Dragon Championship? Gotta use it to your advantage, people.
It's definitely going to help.
Very happy to be here, man.
Just go as much as you want me to later.
You guys don't have to. Thank you. It's been great. It's been really great. Like I'm like quasi-famous. Nothing's really changed. I might get a free appetizer and a select meal change. That's about it. Nothing's really changed. I was still using Tinder up until like a year ago. But now I realize I got a whole new set of issues on Tinder. Like now when I do match with a girl, she doesn't believe that it's me.
Very, very imminent.
Like, that's not you. You're not that guy from this station. Who the fuck is using me as a fake profile? You gotta dig real deep to use me, man. I feel like there's so many better choices. One time my agent told me that I had a good look. I'm like, thanks, dude, I appreciate that. Then it took me years to realize that having a good look is totally different than being good looking. I still don't know what the fuck it means. Hey, look, I'm not being self-deprecating, okay? That's Hollywood talk. I don't understand that shit. I understand that in real life, I'm like super good looking. If you're into anime. You gotta get in where you fit in, people. One time I went over to the girl's house. She has this like Naruto anime poster in her bedroom. I knew I was fucking that night.
You kid.
You gotta know your demo, people. Asian people who don't need Tinder anymore, we just go to BTS concerts. That's how we do that parking lot pimping. I've been dating a lot of tall girls lately because it makes me look successful.
Bandit, or he didn't see him Raoul's
wear heels. That is disrespectful.
He just waiting for that.
Like, you're already 5 inches taller than me. Why the fuck are you wearing heels? And she's like, it makes my ass look better. I'm like, your ass is at my eye level right now. Neither of us look good, okay? I look like a child, and you look like a child molester.
I'll tell you why during the race. It's complete. Last time I
don't know if you guys know this, but apparently tall people have fun at concerts. Are you guys aware of that? I'm 5'5". I just go to concerts to smell other people's armpits. Like, what the fuck's the point of this?
The table now how close to you. I think if there's any concern at all, it would have called him into a fuel, which provides you with a quick shot of fuel, 5 seconds.
I was frustrated. I had enough. So I just looked up at her. I was like, hey!
That would have, of course, taken his position out away from him. Well, what's the time to retain that?
Bullshit, I paid for these tickets, okay? I want to see Billie Eilish, too.
They finally do get to him.
I know I'm coming in the door finally. Because now my favorite TV show is Mixer HGTV. That's the greatest show of all time. You guys watch it? Chick with Joanna Gaines, Fixer Upper. It's a great show, right? It's a great show. Like, it's really a beautiful relationship. Joanna does all the interior decorating, and she brings in all the furniture, and makes the house look amazing. She just hires Mexicans to do everything. It's the most symbiotic American relationship ever. It's a really nice show. It's a feel-good show. It's an inspiring show. You watch the show, and you're like, man, one day, my house will be
happy for that car to stay out.
If I just give up on my life,
maybe
I can have a new open concept kitchen.
Fuel bit stop, it was getting to that point where in the instant needing fuel. And just by timing, Johnny, this can happen. I found that yellow came out. And Robert's got enough fuel to feel that it could run behind the safety car. And it gets round another lap. The thing is,
and our budget is $50,000.
with this 44 set,
Crack house in Compton.
4001 to be received by the Ganassi team. They're waiting patiently.
HGTV is just basically MTV Cribs for adults. Because when you're 15, you're crazy in dreams, you know. You watch MTV Cribs and you're like, oh man, one day I hope I can have a Lamborghini. One day I hope I can have a fridge with only Gatorades. And now you're 35, your dreams are getting more realistic. You're watching HGTV and you're just like, oh man, one day I wish this roof. Look, I'm doing fine by any measure, you know, but I still live in a one-bedroom apartment because that shit is rent control. And when the Asian people want to find a good deal, we're never letting that shit go.
Do they have it?
That apartment is about to be generational. It's going to get passed down my nephew, his kids, and all that. It's mine now, basically. I don't want to buy a house. I live for myself. And I'm scared of ghosts. I've seen enough movies to know that ghosts only haunt houses. Not one-bedroom apartments.
They feel that the car goes everything that's set up really easy, and now we'll be bringing
I've seen enough Hollywood movies to know that ghosts only haunt rich people's houses in the suburbs, preferably with a newborn baby. Because they got way too much to lose. Shit is high stakes. I live by myself. I ain't got nothing to lose. A ghost can haunt me. I just move. Worst come to worst, I lose my security deposit. Fuck it, you know? What's a ghost gonna do? It's gonna follow me from unit to unit. Start knocking on my fixtures and shit. I'm like, hey dog, go ahead, it's not mine. Both get evicted, okay? And if you really think about it, what kind of ghost would be in an apartment? That means that ghost probably died in an apartment. He didn't even die in Roma. I ain't got no respect for that shit. He comes home and starts talking shit to him like, hey dog, boys a credit score guy though, like for real.
Why?
I was born in Hong Kong. And Hong Kong people, was awesome, man. You guys haven't been following the news. Hong Kong is a part of Japan. I'm joking. But I said the same shit in Kansas City, and people were like, really? I learned something new today, Bill. I did a show in Kansas City. I don't know why either. People are very nice in Kansas City. I'm not gonna say like they're racist or anything like that. They're just like curious. Like they're watching me like they're watching an episode of National Geographic. And a pack of giraffe just ran by. And they're like, oh, never seen one of those in real life. Looks majestic. This one kid in Kansas City came up to me after the show. Very nice kid. This is what he said. He was like, Jimmy, thought you were really funny, man. I don't mean to offend you. That's when you know you're about to get offended. It's like, I don't mean to offend you, but when I first saw your poster, I thought you were gonna play the violin. I was like, I do, motherfucker, just not right now. Shoot. I'll keep it a secret. See, I gotta say, I got some of the nicest crowds in the business. I rarely ever get heckled. And one time I was talking about how I used to play the violin. Old Chinese lady sitting in the front just stood up and screamed out, first chair or second chair? And I was like, thanks, ma'am, fifth chair. It wasn't very good. It wasn't good. I grew up very stereotypically in Hong Kong. Very stereotypically in Hong Kong. Like my real name is not Jimmy. My real name is Mei Xing. In Cantonese, Mei Xing. It stands for 10 success.
Also, it looks like heavier as well.
Now I'm taking Dick Jones.
So you can now clean that, have it safety off the car, And the Chippies have been attacked. And Joe Bradley, the VP Racing, had it. There's a little bit more, in fact, about the work that's taking place.
Name yourself Richard. He was like,
I am being informed by one of the collectors listening, Nick, second then finished 247.
And then they named my older brother Roger, after James Bond actor Roger Moore.
Check that out.
But my brother hated that name. He was like, man, it makes me sound like a old white guy. So eventually I changed this old name to Roy. And now his full name is Roy Roger.
We have seen the month-time that car being removed and the daytime one on that bus.
Competitively. That was a serious national sport back home, man. You know, I didn't go to any like fun summer camp, space camp. That's a training camp in Guangzhou, China.
It's cleaner and it looks, it looks better here.
It was 100 kids competing for one spot on the national team. It was basically Fortnite with ping pong battles. We took that shit seriously though. My dad would take me to every practice, every tournament game, and he always tried to make me pep talk before every game. So every pep talk just turned into an insult. Like he would come up to me like,
the pitting was the GTLM guys are pitted now and are back out. They've all 5 cars back in the GTLM teams in and full service.
And then he would just walk away.
A number of people, obviously, the rest of the Daytona field takes the opportunity to pit. Thank you to Declan Brennan. Once again, his extra pair of eyes on the Daytona class. Tough to call this race because there is so much traffic all at once.
Mathematics and academics. You guys seen it? You guys seen those like Kumon learning centers and those strip malls? Right? Kumon learning centers, so you guys that don't know, are basically the young Asians. You can tell that place is kind of fucked up by the look of its logo.
All of the places around this amazing racetrack. There are lots of companies that to hide the incidents, particularly in the main stand. The odd overtake called off the corner.
My parents were way too cheap to send me to use a calculator. Okay, how good night. I can work on my brain function. That's an old school Chinese strategy. You know, so when I turned 15, it was a very special time. It was basically my quinceañera.
Yeah.
My dad just gave me 83 points.
Finished the last lap 2 seconds ago. One or two that have felt that already this weekend. Sadly, some retirement, including in the LMP2 category. The 10 car.
When your parents tell you can't do something, what do? You rebel, right? So when I was 14 years old, I stole my brother's calculator. I stole Roy Rogers' calculator. And I locked myself in my room and I started rebelling. I started doing math homework. Other kids were like fucking around with like alcohol and drugs. And I locked myself in a room. I was just punching in numbers. I was like, oh, this feels great.
You are the racing team name about Dorica. That's driven by Guido Batigada.
My dad was knocking outside the door. He doesn't like locked doors in the house. He was screaming. He's like, Jimmy, what are you doing? Come out right now. I know you need a calculator. Come out right now. I was so scared. I didn't know what to do.
He's stepping out of the race. Ferreira, GRT, Grasser Racing, lap Hurricane, not team racing, but assisted car within that team. Even the trouble was, and gave all to Loxley, Walker 19, Marco Rapelli.
And he came in and he looked at me and he looked at math homework. And he was like, good, very good. You must have really like math, that's good. Keep it up. Because there's nothing that'll make an Asian father more proud than to see his son trip off his math homework. I grew very scientifically, man. All these things. Feeling that I am good at math, my names. Those things weren't stereotyped when I was growing up in Hong Kong because everybody was Asian.
Yellow cars make their way through the Boston, followed by
until I came to
Daytona cars.
13 years old.
Very far away now.
Like, I didn't really know how to speak English. I learned how you guys will learn Spanish just on paper.
Taking ourselves up for a restart very soon.
Mexico when you're 13 years old.
Yeah, they're putting together, aren't they?
I was a very confused kid, man. First day of school, everybody's standing up, the Pledge of Allegiance.
He's got enough of the market just to read very slightly to the left and to the right. To remember,
first day of school, this girl came up to me. She was like, "Hey, what's up?" I didn't know what that meant, so I just looked up. I was ready all these little customs I wasn't used to. First day of PE class. First day of PE class with changing that gym clothes. I've never done that. Everybody was wearing boxers. I was still wearing heels. And this kid was a bully next to me. He was like, "Hey, look, the Asian kids wearing tight heels." Hey! Gym shorts that was my size and extra small. So that wasn't very cool because it came down mid-thigh. Apparently back in the day that was called a John Stockton. And the same kid next to me, that bully next to me, he's like, hey, look at it. Hey, don't wear your pants like that. Pull your pants down. Pull your pants down. And I'm like, who's the gay one now? But I didn't know what to do. Everybody was looking at me, and this kid kept saying, pull your pants down. So I was like, oh, shit. I've seen Shawshank Redemption.
They are completely together.
It's just how it works in America. So I start pulling down my shorts all the way down to my knees, all the way down to my ankle. And the same kid, the bully next to me, he's like, hey, what are you doing?
Regularly, if you've been having them, it is actually not going to reach race.
Like, well, it's not gay in this country. And apparently this other kid next to me is like, hey, don't pull him down all the way. Just sag him a little bit. Just sag your pants.
If they interrupt the
pants meant.
To
pull your pants down halfway down your butt.
There's one community to appreciate.
And apparently that's the only not gay way to wear your pants in America.
A bit scary as well. When you're watching the cars, the green screens on the pit wall going side by side.
Things I wasn't used to. Eventually, I learned how to speak English watching it on TV, BET Rap City. Because that was my shit. I want to be cool, and nothing cooler than BET Rap City, right? Every music video was a slice of somebody's American dream. The first music video was Jay-Z. You guys know that shit? Jay-Z's Big Pimpin' was the greatest music video of all time. Jay-Z and his boys on the yacht pouring champagne on this beautiful woman's face for like 4 minutes. I was like, this is America? It's amazing. That's all I wanted to do. Like, before I even wanted to get into stand-up, that's all I wanted to do. I want to be a rapper. I want to be like Jay-Z and Big Pimpin'. So I started my own rap group in high school. True story. It was me, my black friend Julian, and my other friend Yuji, who was half black and half Japanese. So we had perfectly 1.5 black dudes and 1.5 Asian dudes. And we called ourselves the Yellow Panthers. I know. I wish I was making this shit up, but I'm not. The Yellow Panthers was a real rap, and we had a real rap song. It was called Underground Railroad Builder. I was confused. Eventually, I became Asian American, and I wanted to get an economics degree. Because that was the easiest degree that could still appease my Asian parents. But then after I graduated, I didn't want to do like econ or finance. I was confused. Eventually, I became a good Asian American, and I went to school to get an economics degree. because that was the easiest degree that can still appease my Asian parents. But then after I graduated, I didn't want to do like econ and finance. So I went up to my dad. I was like, Dad, I don't want to do any of this. I want to go try and do stand-up. And he's like, what's a stand-up? You mean like a talk show? I was like, yeah, sure, talk show, whatever you want to call it, okay? But I want to go pursue my dreams. And he was like, no. Pursue your dreams, man.
Around there, and that gets in between the seats on the floor.
Things are different now. We're in America, okay? In America, we're supposed to do what we love. I was like, no. Everyone does what they hate for money, and you use money to do what they love. That's that old school Chinese mentality, right? See, I'm like first generation, but my parents, they're like -9 generation. Because they're so freaking Chinese.
It's been there for,
like it's
been in the
really
pit for
hard
3
for me to
hours.
watch TV
So
with my
it's
dad
been a quick
because he's trying to make me
fix
explain everything. And first of all, all Asian people, they watch TV, they watch the TV. It's like I'm just sitting next to my dad on the couch, and he's wearing his like old Asian costume, which is just like white beaters, tiny whiteys. He just sits there, arms folded, judging the TV like. He just makes random noises around the house. And now whenever he sneezes, it's never just a sneeze. It's a whole tsunami of sound waves that comes after. It's just like...
One thing they are not sure of now is enthusiasm. So get the car again, they will be there. And Andrea Bellini.
I'm like, what the fuck? That was an orgasm? What was that?
43 remaining cars. And that
And
was
he doesn't understand what I'm saying
now
half the time. He's like, oh, there's an orgasm. Okay, the orgasm. And he tried to make me explain everything to him on TV. Do you understand how difficult it is to explain a rap music video to an old Chinese man? We're just sitting there, my dad was like, oh, Jimmy.
There comes a point
Jimmy.
to encounter issues.
What's it mean when you say and I'm like, Dad, he's bragging about his car. It's a Lamborghini Murcielago, very expensive car. You know what that is, right? And he was like, oh, okay, yes. That's when you know they have no idea what the fuck you just said. Like, okay, yes, a Lamborghini, okay.
Yeah, I didn't understand.
What did he mean when he said, your chick, she's so serious? What the? That he's making fun of somebody's girlfriend, okay? Saying like she likes attention from other guys and she likes to do sex stuff with them. You know, like blowjobs and such.
It's probably the best.
Okay, yes. Blowjobs, okay. Jimmy, I'm thirsty too, okay? So I was like, oh, God. No. Muslim translation.
It's quite a lap size and he wanted for the trickle-down effect to other classes. I don't
know if you guys know this, but family. But it's not really like Angelina Jolie and John My dad is also an actor, but he started something after I did. It's so easy, you can do it. I can. Okay. Like that, fine. If you think my life's so easy, why don't you go to some open call auditions and you understand how hard it is, how much rejection I face every day at my job. You're like, okay.
Very interesting.
And we went to all these auditions. It's true story. He got on this show in China, in mainland China, called Little Daddy, Xiao Baba. 500 million people watched the show.
24 minutes
it's like
to go.
Of China and surprisingly, he was like, this isn't easy. I don't know. My plan completely backfired. And my aunt in Shanghai, she watched the show, and she'll call the house in LA, and she's like, congratulations, Richard. You're such a good actor. Did your son teach you how to act? Oh, that's very good. You and your son, same business, you know? You two are very funny. He's like, no, Jimmy's not funny. I'm like, that's bullshit, okay? You got one good role, good for you, I'm happy for you. You're not a real actor. Real actors, you gotta cry, you gotta laugh. Do you even know how to cry in front of camera? He was like, yes, I just think about how much you suck at ping pong.
That man again, this time with John Edwards, Chaz Foster, and Jesse Crow.
I grew up with low self-esteem. I was raised by Asians. My dad's not even the worst, my mom's not the worst. Have you guys ever hung out with old Asian ladies? Old Asian ladies will tell you exactly what the fuck is wrong with your face. As if they're trying to do you a favor. I go to my mom's house, the first thing she says, she's like, Jimmy, why is your face so fat? Your clothes look homeless. And your hair, it's a gay. Sometimes like embarrassing to hang out with my mom, you know, because Asian people just got a different custom. Like my mom, when she goes shopping, she doesn't buy shit she needs. She just buys shit because it's a good deal. One time I brought a full price shirt home, $20, and she was like, "What the fuck is this?" I was like, "Mom, it's only $20." It's like, "It's $20." Stupid. She goes to Ross and she freaks out because everything's a great deal. She's like, Jimmy, you should buy this. You should buy this. Is a good deal. This is a good deal. I'm like, Mom, this is double XL shirt.
Three co-drivers to the flag, maybe Raffaele Marciello, Renier.
And she's like, it's okay, 50% off.
He's just lost the first there, Johnny Knapp's royalty position. Johnny
If you want a good deal, you follow the old Asian. Costco, you see a sea of old Asian people. Because you know everyone's getting a great deal. Nobody's getting ripped off. You go to Whole Foods, never seen one Asian motherfucker in my life. We don't believe in that shit. Look, there's nothing wrong with Whole Foods. Matter of fact, it's too nice. And Asian people don't like to pay for atmosphere. Have you guys been to a Chinese grocery store? It's a fucking zoo. You walk in there, there's just a frog jumping from one aisle to the other. There's a piece of fish flopping around the floor. Half the place is an aquarium. I don't know why you ever pay for your kids to get SeaWorld when you're still on Ranch 99 for free.
Kind of a dominating people now, rather than anyone cares.
That's a great deal. We don't buy organic shit. We don't believe in organic labor. We better still see us swimming or still walking. That's organic to us.
Yeah,
all my friends, their friends, they're like, you gotta be organic, man. Those regular stuff, they eat their growth hormones in them. It's gonna fucking kill you.
Take a lot of punishment.
Wait a minute, you're trying to tell me I've been eating growth hormones all my life and I'm still 5'5" and shop at Gap Kids?
Everyone with it there. He had everyone ticket, but briefly, a certain background people there, the
all this organic stuff in America is getting out of control. It's not just organic food. You got like organic veggies, organic hand soap. I don't know about you guys, but growing up in my very Chinese family, hand soap wasn't even a thing. Hand soap used to be that piece of crap leftover soap that my dad's been washing his clothes with for 2 months. And he just puts it on the soap counter. You walk by, you rub your 2 fingers on it for good luck. That was hand soap. Nobody got sick, it was fine. Once in a while, you got a piece of pube, so what? You deal with it. so fancy. It's got its own aisle at the grocery store. Because it's not about washing your hands anymore. It's a status symbol. You go to our friend's house and judge how well they're doing, but what kind of hand soap they got. You go to your friend's house, he's got that hand soap that says Zest on it. That guy's a fucking peasant. Don't associate yourself with that kind of animal. He's gonna ask you for money, you know what I mean? And then next level up, you got like the $2 bottle of soft soap with a fish or a watermelon on it, you know? I like that family. That's the backbone of America. It's the middle class Honda Civics of soaps. Hardworking American family, man. I appreciate that. And then next level up, you got a soap that's so fancy, it doesn't even smell soap. It smells soap. Which is just so
There's so much better.
for an extra $6 a fucking bottle. Because as an American society, we decided we're way too good to rub our own hands together to create our own foam. We'd rather outsource that foaming action to some poor Chinese kid in Guangzhou, China, to create foaming for us. Make America foam again, people. Okay? My mom eventually caved in and she bought the $2 bottle of soft soap with a fish on it. She's so Chinese, she's been watering it down for 6 years now. And now it's just a bottle of water with a fish on it. Doesn't do shit. Because it's a good deal. I know I make fun of my parents, but at the end of the day, I love them very much. I think we all do. It's still there. We don't ever say I love you to each other. That's just not our thing. One time I got high and I called my mom. I was like, Mom, I just want to tell you, Mom, I love you. And you can hear her start like crying on the other side of the line. She's like, oh, Chad, do you have a cancer? She's got different ways of showing love. Like when I see my grandmother, I don't give her a hug, I just give her a solid handshake. We're not about that hugging. And Asian grandmas did the best. You give her a handshake, she's like a vending machine. You give her a handshake, out comes a red envelope. And you gotta pretend you don't want that shit. You're like, no, please. Okay, thank you.
Oh man, why did I do this to myself? I didn't even see those.
That's just how we show love. My dad still calls me like 20 times a day just to check up on me. It's annoying, but I understand that's how he shows love. I was talking to my friend here, he was like, oh, I haven't talked to my dad in 3 weeks. I'm like, what, is he in jail? No, I live with him, I just haven't talked to him in 3 weeks. I'm like, you do understand, if I don't call my dad back in 3 hours, he's gonna call 911. 911, what's your emergency? My son is dead! It's like, sir, is everything okay? Is your son dead? He's like, no, but he's dead to me. Okay, bye. That's just how we show love. My parents, they've been married 38 years. 38 years. It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. 38 years. One time I asked my dad, I was like, Dad, after 38 years, do you still love Mom? And he was like, love? Your mom married in China. It's not love, it's a good deal.
All these practice sessions and now all the race just 38 times.
I've been in this country for almost 20 years now.
Okay, yeah.
American. But I think other people still don't see that. As an Asian American, a lot of times people see you as Asian before they ever see you as American. Even still till today, whenever I tell people I'm from Hong Kong, this is always the first thing they see. They're like, oh yeah? You from Hong Kong? Yeah, dude. From Hong Kong, yeah. Ni hao. Like, do you think that's
what the fuck is
something? I don't understand the mindset behind that. You coming up to me to say ni hao. It's like me coming up to you guys after the show. I'm like, oh, you guys from here? Yeah, y'all from here? Hi. It's not impressive. It's annoying. It's stupid.
Teaching without risk. Yes, they
I
are.
don't even like going to Chinese restaurants with some of my friends anymore. Is this what they do?
Just
speak Chinese? Yeah. Order Chinese, bro.
Right now,
Order Chinese, bro. Order Chinese, bro.
Then it goes off.
I'm like, bro, with Panda Express. She's Mexican. Like, what? Her name tag says Consuela. That's not Mandarin or Cantonese.